Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
I have often wondered why it is that conservatives are called the right and liberals are called the left. Well, I came upon this verse in the Bible in Ecclesiastes 10:2. The heart of the wise inclines to the right, but the heart of the fool to the left. There you go. It's no clearer than that. Amen. Good morning, everybody. Here comes Kate Smith and God Bless America, followed by a Patriot with our Pledge of Allegiance. Call in. Good morning. And a beautiful but going to be hot day to you on this Thursday, August the 9th. Good morning. I'm Zeb Bell, Zeb at the Ranch, with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley, Les Schwab Tire Centers. All 7 locations serving you. If you're getting ready for a late summer road trip, by golly, stop in and see them today. Also, some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Good morning. Let's take our call for the Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Keith. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful day, you and Nancy, and we'll talk to you a little bit later. Thank you so much. Right now, we're going to run to the weather forecast. And run, I know, oxymoron. K&R Rental, 256 South, 600 west of Heyburn, right there on the Burley-Paul Highway. Can't miss them. All the tools and equipment you need. Rental, oh my goodness, yes, stop in and see them today. And they rent for both long and short term. Stop in and see Roger and the crew. They open the doors at 7 o'clock in the morning. K&R Rental, 678-3122. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Hot and dry conditions are going to persist for the rest of this week on into next week. Here's a look at your weather forecast for us up at the ranch. Widespread haze today due to all of the area wildfires that are continuing to burn. Sunny and hot, expecting a high of 97, possible 100 degrees, just depending upon where you're at in the Magic Valley. Tonight, clear skies, hazy, with a low of 60. Tomorrow, that haze is going to stick around, jumping up to 100 degrees. Tomorrow night, we're expecting mostly clear skies with a low of 61. By Saturday, haze is going to stick around, but hopefully that's going to be clearing out because the winds are picking up by tomorrow afternoon. Not good for the wildfires. A high of 96 with an overnight low of 60. Sunny and 90 for Sunday, and as we go back to work on Monday, sunny skies, high of 90. That's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
All right, thank you, Gina. Appreciate it. And be careful out there in these hot temperatures, please. K&R Rental brings you the weather at 256 South, 600 west of Heyburn, right there on the Burley-Paul Highway. And the number, 678-3122. Merv May, come on in here.
All right.
right, it gets the steer calves. They're here to get all 31, 1.5, 31, 1.5.
Oh, that's the chant of the world's best auctioneer, Burley Livestock Sale Yard, Merv May at 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. And this is the sale that works for you. Sale time this morning at 10:30. And if you have any questions or cattle to consign, call them at 678-9411. Merv May, Cade Rogge, and Lance Udy, all there serving you. I know that Brian Kincaid up at Mall is going to be bringing in 30 head of really good 500-pound calves. Brent Jones over to Elmo. Hello, Brent. 15 head of calves coming in, and they're going to have butcher cows coming in from Acme Dairy, Funk Dairy, Antelope Hills Dairy, and the P-Bar S Dairy, and along with a good trailer line run at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard. Sale today, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. And don't forget that number, 678-9411. Merv, sell those steers.
All right, it gets the steer calves. They're here to get all 31, 1.5, 31, 1.5, 32, 2.5, 3.5, 134, 4.5, 5.5, 130, 550, 135, and I sell them $1.35. Does that bell get the bottom?
I tell you what, Merv, thank you. And by the way, I want to remind you that coming up this Saturday, the concert for the Cassia County Fair and Rodeo. Oh, is it going to be good? One of my absolute favorite groups. I love their music, and they do a lot of the Western swing. I love that. And it's going to be Asleep at the Wheel, and then Casey Donahue, and it's going to be Saturday, this coming Saturday, and the gates open at 6:30. Get your tickets. Go to the fair office. Call them, whatever. Get a hold of them. Get your tickets for that great big Cassia County Fair and Rodeo concert coming up this Saturday night. Then on Sunday, don't forget the Monster Truck Show presented by Live a Little Productions, and that's going to be starting at 6 p.m. A lot of things happening at your 2018 Cassia County Fair and Pro Rodeo. Some of the merchants that want you to be involved and have fun at the Cassia County Fair and Rodeo include Magic Valley Irrigation, 44 East, 500 South of Burley, with Jeff and the crew. They've been offering irrigation system service and repair since way back in 1978. Magic Valley Irrigation. Pickett Equipment Company at 976 East Main in Burley, with Brady Olson and all the folks over there with the most innovative edible bean harvesting equipment in the world. That's not brag, that's a fact. Pickett Equipment Company. And Dot Foods, 1541 West 27th Street in Burley. They try to come together every day to make a difference for you and everyone else and make the community better. Dot Foods, thank you very much. And last but not least, let's talk about our folks over at Perkins Bakery and Restaurant. Ooh, goody, I'm telling you. 800 North Overland in Burley. Lots of parking over there. Easy access, truck and trailer parking. After the rodeo, after the fair, stop in and enjoy. Perkins Bakery and Restaurant in Burley. All right, calls are welcome and appreciated at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I want to tell you a little bit about what's going to happen this morning. In just a moment, I'm going to tell you a story that absolutely is chilling. And then at 10:30, we're going to follow up with an expert that has studied this story and knows all the ins and outs as to why and who, and maybe also why we're so naive in this country. What am I talking about? I'm talking about that training camp in New Mexico where they were going to be training children to kill other children. We're going to be talking about that in just a moment. Don't go away. Happy birthday wish goes out to Rose Voss. She is going to be celebrating a birthday on Saturday. I will not be on the air naturally, so I wanted to give her a heads up and a pre-happy birthday message. Rose, congratulations and happy birthday. Also want to remind you about our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. The number to call, 678-0459. And they're open 7:30 to 5 Monday through Friday. All your heating, cooling, and electrical needs right there with highly trained, experienced personnel serving you, as they have for almost 60 years. Wow. Long time. Long time, good time for them to be serving you at Ramsey Heating and Electric. And as I said, telephone number 678-0459. They open up 7:30 in the morning till 5 Monday through Friday. Ramsey Heating and Electric. The story coming out of New Mexico, they're here. I have told you for a long time on this program, and I have taken a lot of ridicule, I've taken a lot of nasty emails, I've taken a lot of dim-witted phone calls, people saying, you're just a fearmonger, you're just out there trying to scare us. No, I am not. For years, I have told you that Islam and the jihad movement is here in this country with camps set up around the United States. As a matter of fact, there was a book that we featured on this program a couple of times called The Twilight in America, featuring where, who, how, and how many are around the United States. Well, here is one in New Mexico, out in the middle of absolute nowhere, close to, in proximity to the Colorado border. And the story is absolutely chilling. That they had young boys ranging in ages, 11 of them, living in absolutely subhuman conditions, filth, and just absolutely no food, etc. And they were training some of these boys to go to school and kill. You can't put it in any more terms other than just simple English. They were training some of these boys to go to school and kill. These boys were being held hostage in the filthiest of conditions, of which I don't even want to elaborate on this morning. And they were teaching them all the weaponry, and they were forcing them to do this and teaching them how to kill, and they were underfed and, like I said, filthy. And the FBI, our FBI, knew of this place, knew of this story, knew of the individuals involved, knew that the kids were undernourished and in squalid conditions. And they waited. They waited. Finally, the sheriff in that particular county of New Mexico had it. He said, that's enough, and he went in and he stopped this. Got him out of there. And I was so incensed when I heard this story. Not so much about a trained jihadi camp to teach kids, God help us all, how to kill, but it was that authorities were letting this thing drag on day after day after day after day. For what purpose? To get more evidence? For what purpose? To try to find out more about the ringleaders? While these kids were living in subhuman conditions. I applaud the sheriff. Telling basically the world, I don't care about your rules and your regulations and your laws and your evidence gathering. We're going in and get the kids. We need more sheriffs like him. Your thoughts on this story, because what we're going to be doing at 10:30 this morning with Ryan Morrow, a dear friend of mine that has been on this program numerous times since I started this program, and he's one of the foremost terrorist experts in the country. He was on television this morning on Fox. We're going to talk about this, and I'm sure it's going to open your eyes as to fault and who and why. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Want to remind you about Denny's Restaurant. Oh, boy, I'll tell you what, that little bowl of cereal I had at 4 o'clock didn't go far. I wish I was at Denny's Restaurant right now. Oh, that breakfast menu is good. I love those strawberry cream pancakes. You will, too. Anything and everything is always good at Denny's Restaurant, 611 North Overland in Burley, and another location at 291 Pole Line Road in Twin Falls. They are, it's true, America's Diner. You stop in and enjoy all the menu choices plus all the great people serving you at Denny's Restaurant. Caller, I'll be right there, I promise. Stand by. Also want to remind everybody about a newly expanded big business that you and I need to call, and that's Dino's Septic Service. Absolutely. Septic tanks pumped, septic tanks and drain fields installed, water and sewer lines installed, sewer and sink drain lines cleaned out. Oh my, they do the job with a big smile on their face, serving you with fast, fair, friendly service. Number to call, 436-6526, or in Burley, 678-1638. The best. And give them a call today. Tell them I sent you. Dino's Septic Service. Good folks. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb.
Yes, sir.
You know, these things that you're talking about, we cannot even fathom, can we? Because we've always been taught to be kind to our fellow man and all that kind of stuff. But this isn't anything new. If you recall back at the beginning of World War II, these young Japanese boys were separated from everyone else and put into kind of like a camp like that, and they were treated with every bit of royalty and everything, and it was drilled into them that they were dying for the emperor, I guess it was, and these people really believed it, and that was one of the toughest things in World War II to overcome.
Well, let's
kamikaze pilot.
I agree with you, but let's differentiate quickly, and then I've got another call too, Keith. Number one, these kids were not held in the highest regard, and they were not held in very real beautiful conditions. They were held in squalor. They were held in filth. They were held without food. They were held against their will, and they were held almost to death, and now they are looking at the possibility that there have been some deaths and some grave sites on that property. So this thing is so heinous, but I have not been naive. I have told you for years that there are sites like this in America, and the FBI and more terror people that are investigating this, they need to start cracking the whip and finding out where these other places are, some are known, and stop them.
You're absolutely right. It's a travesty of what's happening there. And it could be right under our noses. We may even have that in Idaho.
Who says that you can't? And there are rumors that that is a possibility. I'm not going to sit back and follow lockstep with some of the liberal blank stares that call me a bigot and a hate monger, and they call me being kind of naive and off the rails. I told you for years this was going on in this country. I've had people on the air that have mentioned this, and the government and other so-called leadership have kind of poo-pooed it. Now it's coming to light.
Yeah, and if you can remember back in northern Idaho, we had this problem with skinheads.
Yeah. And don't think that it's all gone away and everything is just happy and we're all frolicking around the maypole. That's not true. Keith, it's good to hear from you this morning. Thank you, sir.
One other little note. I want you to go to town and get a larger horse trough and fill it, and we'll all come and take a dip.
Nope, I'm not sharing my trough with anybody. Get your own doggone horse trough. All right, see you later.
No fun at all today.
See you later, buddy. Thank you. Caller, I'll be right there. Stand by. Please don't go away. I want to remind everybody about Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. Oh, good people. Yeah, I got to get my old leg over there and have them work on it again. And that means Nick Greenwell and all the physical therapists are going to have a shot at me again with all their exercises. And, of of course, with the hydrotherapy pool. They are the best. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. Call them, make an appointment, and please help get the thing rolling to get you back to feeling like yourself. 678-1191. 678-1191. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Zeb. You know, what's happened with all these terrorist training camps we've got in this country that have been known about for years and years and years, and all of a sudden they find one out in the desert somewhere? Why haven't these places been invaded and wiped out?
Well, I can't answer that question because I don't know. I've been asking that myself for years. You know, there has been rumors, and they've got pictorial proof of what happened in New York State. They've got picture proof of what went on down in Texas and is going on. Why can't we go in and clean house? And then when I heard that the FBI knew about what was going on at this compound and they sat back and did nothing, I tell you what, I am enraged at the FBI.
You know, all these people, Muslims that are coming in across the border, and they're disappearing into these training camps and being trained how to kill you and me.
Yeah, but Tony, when we say that, and we talk about it, and we have people on that have written books about it, and they've got proof about the situation, and still the knot-headed left looks at you and I, and then they come out with editorials about how we're far right-wing kooks and everything. The proof is in the pudding, and these kids have been suffering for it.
Well, isn't there a part in the Quran that says, befriend your neighbors and kill them?
I don't think that's exactly the verbiage, but I do know that there is absolutely no use for or any will to want to let the infidels live. And I think that we're going to have Ryan on at 10:30 this morning. He's going to be talking about that. Ryan Morrow. Thank you. Tony, it's good to hear from you. I got another call waiting. Thank you.
Okay, bud.
God bless you, man. Thanks. Hey, caller, I'll be right there. I want to remind everybody about Save on Shells. Now, you say, what is Save on Shells? Well, if you're looking for a camper shell, I know the place, and I mean this. I've done business with them in the past, and I just bought a new one recently with Anthony, pardon me. I just had Tony on the phone. Anthony at Save on Shells. Yes, and they're located at 1027 Overland in Burley. The number to call, 312-1525. 312-1525. Save on Shells. I absolutely can't tell you how great the service was. Anthony is service-oriented. He will and can help you. Save on Shells, 1027 Overland in Burley, 312-1525. Caller, good morning, and thank you for calling.
It was Joe, sir, but he had hung up, so hopefully he calls back in.
It was who?
The good news guy. The yummy man.
The yummy man called. And was he upset because I was talking?
Give me one.
I'll bet you that was him. I'll do a quick commercial while we're waiting for your phone calls. Don't forget Barry Equipment and Rental. Caller, I'll be right there, I promise. Barry Equipment and Rental, sales, service, and parts. My goodness, they've got 3 locations to serve you. 159 West Highway 30 in Burley with Juan. Hello, buddy. And, of course, 465 Addison Avenue West in Twin with Eli and the Nampa location. They've got all the big, heavy-duty Doosan equipment. Oh, my. You can get all the heavy work done with that. And then, of course, all the Bobcat excavators, all the shapes and sizes for sale and or rent. Equipment rentals, retail equipment sales, they are waiting right this minute to serve you, and serve they will. Barry Equipment and Rental, Burley, Twin Falls, and Nampa. You get a hold of them today. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. I just have a quick question. Do you know, or will your guest tell us more specifically where that is located in New Mexico? I have some personal interest in several of the areas along that area, and we have suspected some things, but just kind of wondering.
I'm going to say this, and I'm not speaking for Ryan Morrow. Number one, I would never give out anything that is information that shouldn't be given out for fear that maybe it might encourage something that would hurt someone else or would derail an investigation. But I do know that it's at the northern part of the state of New Mexico on the Colorado border, and if Ryan wants to elaborate on where the conditions are and the situation, I will let him. But myself personally, even though I know I've been asked not to say too much until he's on the air.
No, that's okay. I perfectly well understand it. I just meant like it was, like from the central part, was it closer to the Arizona border or closer the other way? But that's okay. I understand exactly, and I knew that when I called you.
You know, but this whole thing, and you're always very perceptive about what's going on in the news. Why? Why did they have to wait? I mean, if they knew that there was child abuse, and they knew that there was absolute starvation, and they knew that there was oppression, and that they knew that weapons were being used to train kids to go kill other kids, why did we wait so doggone long?
Well, in my experience, Jeff, with Jeff and I dealing with the government people, and other than your local law enforcement, like this particular sheriff, and I'm not saying anything, we haven't been very successful. It's had to be more the local authorities that give us results.
I couldn't agree more. Thank you. It's nice to hear from you. Have a nice day. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Caller, good morning to you. You are on the air, hopefully, and speak up nice and loud. Wheels run the game. Thank you.
Well, this is a yummy man from Senior Junction.
What do you got, yummy man?
Well, today we're having salad, chicken salad and potato salad with cake or fruit for dessert. Tomorrow is pulled pork, and we're going to have yummy dessert.
Yummy dessert. And you don't know exactly what kind of a yummy dessert it is, do you, Joe?
No, I don't, but it's going to be good.
And if anybody would like to have a lunch to take out, and all they have to do is call, who do they call?
Just call Deb at 208-678-8646, and she'll have it ready for you.
Joe, I want to extend to you a great weekend. Stay cool, my friend. It's going to get up there in the triple digits, so be careful.
Thank you very much. You do the same.
I will, my friend. God bless you. Thank you very much. Joe Taylor talking about, of course, the Senior Junction and their great lunches. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Jerome County Fair and Rodeo in full swing. I mean in full swing. Tonight is performance number 3 of their pro rodeo, and you don't want to miss it. Man, I'll tell you what, it's tough enough to wear pink night over there tonight, and they urge everybody to show up in pink at the Jerome County Fair and Pro Rodeo. And then tomorrow night, don't forget they're going to have a great big concert. It's going to start at 7 p.m., and it's with country artist Jesse G. Wow, and that's going to be military night, too, tomorrow night. Bring your military ID and get in for free at the Jerome County Fair and Pro Rodeo going through the end of the week. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. This next story, I tell you what, every day I get up and Deanna and I, we take notes on what's going on in the news, etc. I couldn't believe this one. Every year for over 29 years in California, a pastor and his church and congregation have gone out and had what they call a harvest evangelistic kind of a gathering. A big thank you to the Lord for all of his blessings, and a thank you to the community and all the people. It's a great big evangelical, fun, and religious and biblical event. Well, they put up some billboards this year around California to announce the harvest event. And the pastor had a picture up on the billboard, and he was holding, naturally, you're ahead of me, a Bible. Well, they put the billboards up, and then all of a sudden, after the billboards were up, the billboard company called the pastor, and they said, we've got to take him down. What? Why? What is wrong with these billboards? It shows the pastor holding up the Bible and inviting everybody to the harvest gathering. And the billboard company said, no, we've got to take him down because someone was offended that you were holding a Bible. Someone was offended because this minister promoting his great big harvest event was holding a Bible. And the billboard company canceled the contract and took down the billboards for holding a Bible. Do you folks understand how critical this is? Do you see that there is definitely attack on Christianity? Do you see that there really is an assault on moral values and the values of this country? And we sit there and a lot of us just go, well, that's the way it is. And we let it go. We turn and keep turning the other cheek. We're like a bobblehead doll. Nobody fights back. Now, I don't know about you and your church. I don't know about you and your pastor, your minister, your church leaders, etc. But how much more of this are you going to take? Or should we take or not take anything any further? Draw a line in the sand. Now, number one, there was nothing, absolutely nothing offensive about inviting people to a harvest gathering, a evangelical gathering of all the people to give thanks, and a man standing there, the pastor standing there holding a Bible. My goodness! Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Mr. Bell. You know, whatever happened to freedom of religion, freedom of speech? These liberals in especially California, my gosh, they've gone so far off the radar. Why don't people stand up and say, enough is enough, we're going to do it anyway? Quit being intimidated by these, I don't even know what to call them.
No, I agree with you, Donna, and I think it's high time. It's past time. It's not high time. It's past time. That we have stood up and said, no, you will not take that billboard down. There is absolutely nothing offensive on that billboard. We have paid the money for the billboards in advance. You are not taking them down until the contractual agreement has met and fulfilled the dates of the agreement. But no, too many of us stand back and go, oh, gee, darn, they beat us again.
Yeah, I don't understand. You know, it's just the Bible, the flag, our Constitution. We the people need to stand up and say, okay, enough is enough. If you don't like our rules and regulations and our religions, move somewhere where you really don't have a choice.
You know, Donna, you and I, our personalities are quite a bit alike, because I would not, if I were that pastor and I were the leader of that church and congregation, I would absolutely say, you touch that billboard and you take that down, we're going to sue you for a breach of contract and we're going to go after you. I would fight. I'm not going to cave in.
Yeah, I agree. You know, we had a similar situation with our flag over here on our roll call monument.
Yes.
You know, one person complained, one dadgum person.
Yeah.
But you know what? We did. The city did what they legally should have done, but we didn't stand for it. We went in and George fought for the flag to be flown. that's what we as Americans need to remember. We need to fight for what we have, our freedom of whatever, religion, the Constitution. We need to stand up and be people again instead of wimps.
Why in the world is the United States, that was formed all those hundreds of years ago, why are we turning into a bunch of wimps and wusses that won't stand up for the concepts that our forefathers created and started this country on, a Judeo-Christian principle of starting the United States of America, and now we're supposed to be ashamed of it? I don't think I'm going to be.
I don't think I will be either. I'm right there with you. We've got a statue out here in my yard George made for the city of Mackay, Idaho. It was for the Moose Foundation. That's where it was founded. And it's a beautiful picture of a moose. And you're probably going to get in trouble for this, but some stupid tree hugger went past and they went to the governor. Well, they had to take it down. They put the sculpture in an airplane hangar until George could come and get it. Well, guess where it is? It's right in the middle of my yard. And God forbid if anybody comes and tells me I have to take that down.
I would say from firsthand experience, if there is anybody or any group dumb enough to approach you and tell you that, hell, fire, and fury is in this lady's left and right hand.
Well, sort of.
God bless you. Have a good day. Thanks, Donna.
Yeah, you too, my friend.
All right, thank you. Caller, I'll be right there. Don't forget on Tuesdays, dial tone. That means they got... I only held you on the phone for 30 seconds. Please call back. Don't forget Stoats Equipment, your John Deere dealer at 119 Overland and Burley. They make your life easier, and they do. Vic and the entire staff over there at Stoats Equipment, they are exceptional. Let me tell you something. Please tune in on Tuesdays at 9:46 for the Stoats Equipment Ag Minute, brought to you by your John Deere dealer, Stoats Equipment, 119 Overland in Burley. Wheels, did that call come back, or are we without a call?
You still have a caller.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, Wheels. I didn't know that. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Zeb, we've got these guys that are coming out of college that have been taught all of this baloney, and they're caving to all of this because they think that's what's right. We've got to change what's going on in our colleges, so we change what's going on in our schools so that all this BS isn't being taught to our kids.
I couldn't agree more. And Wheels, I need you to turn the caller up a little bit, please. Caller, what you said about our education system is really true. I think here in this area we're blessed because we don't have the, let's say, the interference from the outside coming in to change and mold the minds in the wrong direction. But it's all across the country, and it's got to change. Some of these college professors... I'm sorry, go ahead.
They're taking the federal money, and they've got to play the game with the little... Years ago, when my daughter was in school, she came home with a gun lock. Everybody's folks need to have a gun lock. And I looked at her and I said, so if I put a lock on that gun, if something happens, how do I protect everybody? Trying to get a lock off?
Yeah.
I might as well have a rock.
Well, and that might become illegal in the future, too. I totally agree. I totally agree with everything you're saying. We got a little feedback problem here on the line. Wheels, ride that gain, please. I can't hear that gentleman. Go ahead. And I think he's gone. We've got to ride that gain a little better than that so we can keep everything straight. And let's see, Deanne's handing me a note. I will take that. Thank you very much, Deanne. Calls welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Give me a call. I apologize. Some calls, and to that caller that was calling, some calls with the cell phones, etc., kind of a feedback type thing, so please call back. I'm sorry for that. Anyway, my hat's off, and I'm going to try to get the pastor on my program next week so we can talk about this. Okay? The so-called blue wave of the Democrats. We're going to be talking about that in just a moment. Don't go away. Right now it's time for the weather, and the weather is brought to you by Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, and they are located right behind the Minidoka Hospital across from the emergency room, and the number to call, 312-0957. 312-0957. Absolutely the best with your hearing health. Dr. Pickup, Dr. Mitchell, and I believe that you'll absolutely thank me if you'll make an appointment to go over and let them give you a hearing screening and let them help you and your hearing, and you will go, voila, why didn't I do this a long time ago? That's what I said. Great people at Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Right now, here's the weather.
Hot and dry conditions are going to persist for the rest of this week on into next week. Here's a look at your weather forecast for us up at the ranch. Widespread haze today due to all of the area wildfires that are continuing to burn. Sunny and hot, expecting a high of 97, possible 100 degrees, just depending upon where you're at in the Magic Valley. Tonight, clear skies, hazy, with a low of 60. Tomorrow, that haze is going to stick around, jumping up to 100 degrees. Tomorrow night, we're expecting mostly clear skies with a low of 61. By Saturday, haze is going to stick around, but hopefully that's going to be clearing out because the winds are picking up by tomorrow afternoon. Not good for the wildfires. A high of 96 with an overnight low of 60. Sunny and 90 for Sunday, and as we go back to work on Monday, sunny skies, high of 90. That's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
Thank you very much, and the weather brought to you by some friends of ours and yours. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, Dr. Pickup, Dr. Mitchell, and you can trust your hearing health to these wonderful people at Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. The number to call, 312-0957. I wish that man that called in a minute ago would call back. I had some questions for him, and evidently the line, we got cut off or something. I apologize. We were talking just before the weather forecast about the so-called blue wave of the Democrats. And it's really kind of interesting and fun, in a way, to sit down at night and when you come in the house and just before dinner, maybe sit there and take the channel clicker and go through maybe CNN, maybe CBS, maybe ABC, maybe NBC or MSNBC. It doesn't make any difference. Go through the left-oriented TV stations and hear all about this blue wave that's going to take us over in November. Look out, somebody get a big bucket, blue wave. Well, honestly, from the people that I talk to daily, and from some of the preliminary things that we've seen in some of the early voting already for some of the special elections, that blue wave that the Democrats are touting may be nothing more than a leaky faucet. Drip, drip, drip. And I really don't think there's going to be a blue wave. Boy, if I am wrong, I mean, honestly, if I'm wrong, I think I'm big boy enough to sit here on the radio and say, boy, I goofed. I didn't see it. The people I talked to, we were all wrong. We apologize. I will do that. But right now, this blue wave of the Democrats, the public is going to all put us back in power. Why, they hate the Donald Trump administration. They hate they use this word, failed policies of Donald Trump. What policies, please tell me, call me right now, please educate me. What policies of Donald Trump have failed? Name one, please. We're looking at a growing economy. We're looking at, I think, much more of a sane policy of working with the world and telling them, wait a minute, now, boys, we're sitting here at this table, and for years and years, you've kind of used us as a doormat. Well, there's a new sheriff in town. His name is Matt Dillon, in the real name of Donald Trump. And we're not going to take it anymore. Now, whether it's trade and tariffs or whether it's you're threatening us and telling us that we have to pay you to be good boys or else you might hurt us, that's done. That ain't going to happen anymore, fellers. You know, I don't think the Democrats have got a leg to stand on. I think they've sawed off 3 of the 4 legs of their chair. And to say that they've got a blue wave coming on what platform? I'm waiting. Somebody give me a call and tell me on what platform or what issues are we going to see a blue wave. This woman that has become the poster girl, and she is a girl, for the Democratic Party leaning socialist, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, is the biggest phony that has ever come down the pike in a long time. She is not smart. She does not know the issues. She does not know the economic value or devalue of what she's promoting and touting. And if that's their poster girl, along with a couple others like Booker and Nixon and, of course, wild-haired Bernie, where is the blue wave? You know, she was trying to describe, I caught just an excerpt of this yesterday. This woman, Cortez, was trying to explain how to pay for free health care, which is going to go into the trillions and trillions of dollars, and how this education could be paid for and everything. And she was like running around the rabbit hole, but never really gave an answer. Not a very bright person. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
What's the old saying, like a box of rocks?
Yeah, let's not offend the box.
Yeah, no joke. She's the best thing that ever happened to the Republican Party.
I heard Lou Dobbs talking about her, and quite frankly, he almost used exactly the same verbiage that you just used. This woman is not very intelligent. This woman is nothing more than a giddy, almost schoolgirl with a big smile on her face, telling everybody that socialism is going to be wonderful, but doesn't know how to pay for it.
Exactly. Well, you can pay for it by the savings of the funerals.
Doug, I got to tell you something. I consider myself to be okay as far as my intelligence. And when she said that and brought that into the conversation, would you please honestly tell me if you followed her logic, if there was any?
No, I did not. I went, huh?
Yeah, that's what I did.
And I started scratching my head, and I'm going, this gal has no clue.
How do you go, honestly, as a figurehead now for Democrats and now the new socialism idea, and you're being interviewed by all these people, and you really have no clue what you're talking about? You would think the Democratic Party would say, would somebody get her off the stage? She's embarrassing us.
Well, yeah, she's the young Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah, but you're going to go back to caveman times?
Oh, Lord, yes. But if she's that sharp on socialism and how to make it work and everything, then what she could do, she could go to Venezuela and show them how to operate it and make it a successful deal, and then bring it back here to the U.S.
Oh, she would be absolutely welcome down there. Why, I think they'd lay and strew roses all across the roadway for Miss Cortez to stand up there behind a podium with armed guys with masks over their face and tell the public, this is great!
It is. And did you hear about Shapiro, Ben Shapiro? Offered her $10,000 to debate him.
Yeah. And she won't do it.
Oh, I know she won't.
She will not do it. Ben Shapiro, and Wheels again the game. You got to ride the game. Ben Shapiro would chew her up in 30 seconds, and the debate would be adios, exit left.
Well, I know you could chew her up in probably about a minute, Zeb, with your knowledge.
Well, I'll tell you what, I would love to have the debate. I would love to have the debate with any Democrat on this program about their platform, etc., but they won't show up.
Well, they won't. That's because they have no leg to stand on. The only thing they're running on this year is resist and impeach.
And hate.
That's their goal.
And hate.
And hate, exactly.
Yep. All right, my friend. I got to run, but I got another call waiting, and I got a commercial to do. Thank you so much. Appreciate
All
it.
right. Hey, everybody, let's take care of our seniors. Do what we can to help them.
All right, Doug. Thank you very much. Caller, I'm going to be right there. Stand by. Don't go away. I've got get this in. Our friends at our Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, get ready for a road trip now before the kids go back to school. And to make sure that you have a safe road trip, make sure you've got the best of tires. Many of the tires at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers on sale right now. Check them out for your car, your pickup, your SUV. Don't forget the best in brake service and front end alignment, shocks and struts and batteries, all of this, but the main thing is service to you. Stop in and see Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Caller, I've got exactly 30 seconds, and then I'm going to have to go to the news. Go ahead quickly.
Yes, sir, Mr. Bell. That Cortez, you think back about 10, 12 years ago, isn't she kind of a carbon copy of Obama?
Absolutely.
You know, she's going to pull in more votes and get more support because everything's free, and that's what we've come into.
I couldn't agree more, and you take care of yourself, my dear friend. I've got to run to the news, but thank you for that analogy. It is true. Thank you. Have a good day.
Have a good day, sir.
Thank you, sir. Got to run. News next, CBS. I'll be back in 7. Don't go away. Oh, good morning. Kind of hazy outside with all the smoke and everything else. Going to get warm. We're going to have Gina's forecast on here pretty quick. Hey, good morning. Zeb Bell, Zeb at the Ranch with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. And don't forget, too, some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Cache County Fair starts actually on this Saturday with the big concert, and many of the merchants over in Cache County want you to attend the big fair and rodeo, like AMI 719 Overland and Burley. Look for the big 28-foot wrench over their door, and you'll go nuts over their bolts. Really good folks at AMI. Butte Irrigation, 116 South, 600 West, Highway 27 South in Paul, or the new location on Kimberly Road, north of Kimberly by Red Cap Corner. Don't forget, when it comes to irrigation and any needs you have, they will get you wet. And Mountain Transmission at 1146 East Main in Burley. Oh, I tell you, these are good folks. Rick and the crew, free towing, free diagnostic, free estimates with the greatest technology available at Mountain Transmissions. And those are just a few of the great merchants inviting you to the Cache County Fair and Pro Rodeo. And real quick, before we go to our chamber report, I want to remind you about Ark Animal Hospital at 750 21st Street near Connection Credit Union in Heyburn. The number to call, 678-1177. Warm hearts for cold noses. They know how to take care of your itty-bitty kitty cats, your dogs, all the way up to the big dairy cattle herds. They know and can and will help your animals stay healthy. Please get a hold of Dr. Bill and Dr. Jordan today at Ark Animal Hospital in Heyburn. The number to call is 678-1177. Right now, let's by the phone run over to the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce, and I'm not even going to guess who's on the line. I'm just going to say good morning.
Good morning, Zeb. It's Sarah. How are you today?
It's rapid fire.
How's the weather over your direction? I'm sure it's hazy just like here.
It is, and I really appreciate your call, and we've missed you the last couple of weeks.
Oh, thank you. You know, we're just so busy. Whoever is in the office at that time gets to make that phone call.
Well, Shaylee did a great job, and she also did something else to carry on the tradition that we've started. At the end of the interview last week, she had Sarah's Groaners.
Oh, perfect. Well, I've got another one ready for you today when we're done.
I can hardly wait, so you have the floor. Take it away.
Oh, thank you so much. I'd like to invite all of our members to join us today for our monthly luncheon. It's going to be at noon at Sonia's Event Center at 1130 3 West Main Street here in Burley, catered by Sophie's Chatterbox. We just can't wait to see all of you there. We're also getting ready to gear up for our Mini Caja Leadership Program, and it's a 2-year program sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce. It's a series of one-day seminars held monthly, September through May, and it gives the participants a really in-depth information about the inner workings of our community. So if you need more information on that, contact me here at the Chamber. We'll get you all signed up. We're still accepting applications for that. We have a photo contest going on right now. What you win, if you win, is a Chamber cash, in which you can spend at a whole bunch of different merchants in our area. It keeps our local dollars local. You also get your winning photo hung in our visitor center for a year. So if you need more information about that, check out our website, www.minicajachamber.com, or call us here at the Chamber and we can get you all of the details. We're getting ready to have a ribbon cutting in September on the 14th at 1 p.m. for River Valley Orthodontics. They're going to be unveiling their new building. We're super excited to go see that. And like you said before, Caja County Fair and Rodeo kicks off this weekend. If you need anything and any information, you can go to our website to see the links to their website and all of the things that are going on. There's just way too much to list on here. There's so many activities in our area right now. Ace Hardware is also going to be doing a ladies' night, Canning 101. It's going to make the most of your harvest this year. That'll be Saturday, August 25th at both the Burley and Rupert locations. If you need more information, check out our website. Right Physical Therapy is going to be doing a Stuff the Backpack fundraiser. So they're collecting donations for school supplies in our area. If you need any information, contact Right Physical Therapy in Burley. PMT is still accepting grant applications for their foundation grants. They're still open to organizations in the Magic Valley. If you need more details, go to www.pmt.org. And last but not least, we have a Chamber retreat coming up September 24th. That's going to be at the Caddy Shack Restaurant in Jerome. It's open to all Chamber members, and it's about marketing and sales and how to improve your businesses. It's partnered with the SBDC. So if you need any more information on that, contact us here at the Chamber. You can give us a call, you can check out our website, or you can walk through the door, and we'd love to visit with you.
Wow. Okay. Now, I heard a rumor that you actually show up on Thursdays wearing a scuba diving outfit so that you have enough air to get through this program.
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
Before I ask you for your weekly groaner, how do people get a hold of the Chamber, and what are the times that you're open?
Absolutely. We are here in our office Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. That's located at 1177 7th Street in Hayburn, right here by the walking path and the river. You can call our office at 208-679-4793. Visit us on our website, www.minicajachamber.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram and see what's going on in the area.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that are standing up, sit down, hold on to the arms of the chair. It is time for the weekly Sarah's Groaner.
Yeah, it's a great one. Are you ready for this?
I am.
Okay, why are frogs so happy?
Why are frogs so happy?
Mm-hmm.
I have not got a clue.
It's because they eat whatever bugs them.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to share a little reciprocity with your groaner.
All right, I can't wait.
All right, here we go. Did you hear about the redneck farmer who broke up with his girlfriend? She was the daughter of a tractor salesman. She got a John Deere letter.
I like that one. I like that one. Nicely done.
Hey, I'm telling you what, I look forward to visiting with you every week. And, of course, the Mini-Caja Chamber of Commerce, that's where all the action is. Sarah, God bless you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Zeb. Have a great day.
All right, take care. Like that lady, she is good. All the people over there, very, very nice people at the Mini-Caja Chamber of Commerce. I want to remind you about a dear friend, and they do so much for the community and are always there to assist. And I'm talking about Hanson Mortuary at 710 6th Street in Rupert with Joel Heward, his family, and his staff. And the number to call, 436-5636. They really care. and they want to help you and the grieving families when there is the loss of a loved one. Please and always remember, they will uphold the highest ethical standards with unquestioned integrity. They are there. They will help you and your family. Joel Heward and Hanson Mortuary at 710 6th Street in Rupert, the number 436-5636. And Joel also serving you at Morrison Payne Funeral Home on East Main in Burley. Thank you very much. And also right now, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't been getting outside and you haven't been enjoying the beauty and the splendor of what we have here in the state of Idaho, you've really missed something, but it's not too late. No. As a matter of fact, now's the perfect time as we're kind of inching our way towards fall to check out an ATV from Let's Ride, 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. Let's Ride. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. Saturdays 9 to 4. Holy cow, they've got a big blowout right now. Big blowout sale. You can save money on the watercrafts. And they've got that new Maverick Sport side-by-side. Dynamite. This is big. This is fancy. This is what you've got to have. Check it out at Let's Ride. With all the accessories and a great service department, Let's Ride. 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and the World. And it is true, this is where the fun is sold. And while you're over in that area, you might as well take care of some business for yourself, and that means you'd better get a hold of our friends that can handle all the life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, and employee benefits for you. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. All you need to do is call the number and make an appointment. They will love to help you, your family, and your business. Number 436-4424. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. You call them today. Right now it is time for our weekly interview with some very, very nice and knowledgeable people at Cassia Regional Hospital. Wheels, if you would, please.
I thought I had loaded it, sir, but I'm going to have to go ahead and check because for some reason it's not firing off. So.
Well, do that quickly. Do that quickly right now, please. Thank you very much. And while we are waiting for Cassia Regional Hospital to come on the air, I also want to acknowledge the fact that the Jerome County Fair and Rodeo is going on currently. As a matter of fact, tonight is performance number 3 of the PRCA Rodeo at the Jerome County Fair and Rodeo for 2018. And tonight is Tough Enough to Wear Pink night. Don't forget that. Great rodeo, great fair, and tomorrow night at the Jerome County Fair and Rodeo, they're going to have country artist Jesse G live in concert. Don't forget, that's going to start at 7 p.m. tomorrow night on Friday night. Great artist, great singing, great music at the Jerome County Fair. And tomorrow night is military night. Bring your military ID and get in for free at the Jerome County Fair and Rodeo, going all the way through this weekend. Wheels, do we have now our friends with the Cassia Regional Hospital? Evidently, folks, there's been some technical difficulties over there, and we're trying to get it all on the air for you in just a few moments, so stand by for that. And I also want to remind you that we've got a lot of things cooking here in the area, and up in September, I had a note sent to me that the 3rd annual Patriotic Car Show, Standing Up for the Red, White, and Blue, will be on Fremont Street over in Rupert. And they're going to have bikes and boats and cars and entertainment, all kinds of vendors and food. Put that on your calendar right now early for September the 8th, and that's going to be the 3rd annual Patriotic Car Show, Standing for the Red, White, and Blue. Wheels, do we have our Cassia Regional Hospital?
Yes, sir. It should be ready to go.
All right, let's get it started. Thank you.
Plane.
No, it is not.
Yeah, for some reason... Oh, there we go.
People caring about you and your health care in the most professional and progressive ways. That's Cassia Regional Hospital, located at 1501 Highland Avenue in Burley. In a moment, we'll introduce you to just one of the many dedicated medical experts serving you at Cassia Regional Hospital. Today's program, right after this. Cassia Regional Hospital provides you and your family excellent health care, answers, and services. They're right here, close to home. That's right. Cassia Regional Hospital offers the latest technological advances in medicine, like their new oncology programs and telehealth, which uses electronic information and telecommunications to promote long-distance patient and clinical health care. Your friends, your neighbors. Cassia Regional Hospital, 1501 Highland Avenue in Burley. Quality care close to home. More of the great, very knowledgeable people at Cassia Regional Hospital on our program for this morning, and we get a chance to visit with Lindsay Smith, manager of the imaging department at Cassia Regional. Lindsay, good morning, and what in the world does imaging department mean, and what do you do?
Imaging department is any radiology services. We do full services in our department, so we have CT, MRI, nuclear medicine, ultrasound, regular X-ray, DEXA, and mammography.
Now, I understand that in the not-too-distant future, you're going to be having a new 3D mammography technology available at Cassia Regional. Explain that to us. What do you mean, new 3D?
Sure. So what we currently have, it's digital, but it's 2D. So the newest upcoming thing to do now is 3D. So it's just like it sounds, three-dimensional, and it will give us more information, clearer images, and so on.
What will it be showing or telling people so that they can be resting assured that the right and proper technology and the new technology is helping them right there at Cassia Regional?
Anybody can have a 3D mammogram. The patients that are going to benefit the most are going to be patients with dense breast tissue. And most patients that have had a mammogram know if they have dense breast tissue or not. So it's able to see through the dense tissue better than the previous technology. And so those are the patients that will really benefit. Patients that have been called back for a mammogram before or several times, this will really benefit them. It benefits everyone, as I said, but those are the patients that it'll really benefit.
Well, when you say it benefits everyone, Lindsay, what about other injuries or other tumors or whatever? Explain that a little bit. How do other people benefit too? What does this show?
It will give us a clear image, even on a 2D image. Even if a patient only has a 2D mammogram, which we can still do on the new machine, versus a 3D, the images are still more clear and crisp than they were before. So it allows us to see things that we possibly couldn't see before.
Will it allow then, at that stage, earlier treatment, which would enhance the better care and hopefully the cure, if you will, for certain patients?
Yes, so it will help detect cancers early, even earlier than we're seeing now, and so that's always a good thing.
Okay, and then what about other tumors, if you will, other than for mammography? Can other people benefit by using this 3D machine?
Sure. You know, if you're looking at a tumor or somebody feels something and they come in for a 3D mammo, because of the technology, it takes images in, I think it's every 7 degrees, and then each picture, it kind of does it, it goes in a layer, and so you're able to see through the tissue better to know if is that really a mass or is that just dense tissue, and then from there you could decide, is it, oh, there's really nothing there, or do we want to go further and do an ultrasound?
I see.
Similar to what we do now.
Now, what about the technology? How advanced and how many other areas of the state of Idaho have something like this?
So I would say this type of machine is going to be what everybody replaces their current one with. I know that Boise has it available. Gooding even has it available. They were one of the closest ones to our area to have it. The other hospitals closer to us. I know it's not available to those hospitals yet. I know that it's coming. So we'll be one of the only ones in this close proximity.
Well, give us a little scenario, if you would, Lindsay. You're the manager of that imaging department. What do people need to know? I mean, how do they go about setting up for an appointment? Are there any fears or trepidations that you want to try to get rid of so that they're not concerned and they're not worried? Tell us a little bit about that procedure.
Sure. So scheduling is really easy. You can call our scheduling line. It's the direct line to our department, which is 208-677-6515. And if you're having a screening mammogram, you don't even need an order necessarily. Something that's really exciting that has come out on this new machine that we were told that the existing facilities with the machine currently do not have, and it's the breast paddle that compresses the breast. It's actually got a curvature in it that's supposed to be much more comfortable for patients because it's very uncomfortable for many women.
What about breast cancer in general? I know that there's been cancer in my family and my mother and others. Are we getting ahead of it? Are we on a road maybe to where we can defeat it? What's happening there?
We always try to reach out to more and more women. There's always women out there that, we don't feel like we're reaching, but we, of course, want to, and just with the awareness. And there's programs out there to help even cover a mammogram if cost is an issue.
Are we more aware of this problem today than we were 30 years ago, 60 years ago, or is the problem worse today?
I would say it's better now. I've been doing this for probably 14 years, and I'd say it's been pretty consistent in the time that I've been, because I'm a mammographer as well. But as I look at the technology and the resources that we have available to us now, it's much, much better.
I would imagine that a lot of the ladies that are aware that this new 3D mammography machine is coming into Cassia Regional, it ought to give them a real feeling of, oh boy, good, now we can find out once and for all. It's kind of a feeling of relief, isn't it?
Yeah, I would think so. And I think for the women that have been called back several times, which can be frustrating, I think for them it'll really be a relief that we have the next technology available in our town to help them.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell my audience this morning while we have you on the program about your imaging department? Have we just isolated it to this new technology, or are there other things you want the public to know?
For now, like I said, we have full services. We have a great team, very knowledgeable and very well trained. And the mammography area is it's the newest equipment that we're getting right now. But we, as I said, have full services and do a great job in every area.
Well, I want to say how much I'm really proud of the various people that I've met at Cassia Regional in the various departments, and you are one of those. Lindsay Smith, manager of the imaging department at Cassia Regional Hospital, and talking about a new 3D mammography technology. Lindsay, thank you for being on the program this morning, and please come back again.
Thank you.
Tune in every Thursday at 9:18 right here on Zeb at the Ranch for more about the people and the healthcare services at your Cassia Regional Hospital, 1501 Highland Avenue in Burley. Quality care close to home.
Thank you to the great folks over at Cassia Regional, and we're going to be having more new people and more new departments featured on that program in the upcoming months. Absolutely. Once again, I want to remind you about that Jerome County Fair and Rodeo. You better believe it, it's in full swing. All the livestock classes, all the judging, all the great food, everything going on over at the Jerome County Fair and Rodeo, right there at the fairgrounds, and they welcome you to come over. As I mentioned a little bit ago, the big rodeo comes to a conclusion tonight. Tonight is the last performance of the Pro Rodeo, and it is tough enough to wear pink night tonight. Don't forget that. And then, not only with the Nation Top Cowboys and a lot of fun, the rodeo concludes tonight, so get over there. And then tomorrow night, as we've mentioned, Jessie G. Oh, my goodness, she calls herself the Army Ranger, and she is going to be in concert tomorrow night at 7 p.m. right there at the fairgrounds. And it's going to be military night tomorrow night at the Jerome County Fair and Rodeo. Bring your military ID and get in for free. So all kinds of fun right there at the Jerome County Fair and Rodeo, and it goes all the way through this weekend. Okay. Now, it's going to be hot this weekend, and I really do urge you to be careful out there, hydrate, take a lot of water, and stay in the shade. And about your dogs and your pets, etc., if you're going someplace and your dogs usually go with you, don't take them with you in the car. Please, it's much too hot. They don't get enough air. Leave them home where they've got adequate supplies of water, etc. Please think of their welfare. Right now, we're going to go to the phone line, and we have a wonderful lady that comes in here on Thursdays, and we really get a chance to discuss some of the top-notch stories that are going on all across the United States and the world. We say good morning to Rita Ramsey. Rita, good morning.
Good morning. I was wondering if I could give you my joke.
All right, go ahead.
I think you should have everybody who comes on present a joke first, and then we'd have a little bit more to laugh about. Okay, so this is a knock-knock joke.
All right.
Knock.
Who's there?
Hutch.
Hutch who?
Are you feeling okay, buddy?
Yeah?
So if you got the sneezes, you might be coming down with something.
You said Hutch, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I said Hutch who? Oh, Hutch who. Oh, that is a groaner, Rita. It went right over the top of my cowboy hat.
Well, you better start watching Barnwood Builders more, and then you'll get their kind of humor.
Oh, my goodness. Well, now that we've started off on such a lighter note with the rock that fell right through the window at me, how are you this morning?
I'm real good.
I'm worried. I'm going to tell you why. Every day that goes by, and Wheels, watch the feedback on here. Every day that goes by, I see the left getting more chaotic. I see the left becoming more dangerous. I see the left absolutely doing things and planning and plotting things that are, I think, going to be destructive, not only for our country, but also people and their safety. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think you're absolutely right. However, I think that we need to watch the left just a little bit closer in a different regard, and that is, it was said, and I don't have numbers to document this, that in the Ohio elections on Tuesday, and this was just Ohio, but I think it was probably any place there was a primary, you will find that the Democrat voters came out in the upper 80s. The Republicans were the lower 30s.
Yeah.
And if the Republicans think that we're going to hold on to things and be able to continue this, you know, you might want to say it's a wave, but it's not. If you want to consider what's been happening in the last year and a half with this president and keep this president, they better get off of their laurels and start making a difference and going door to door and talking to people about voting and voting on the right side. Because otherwise, the Democrats are going to sneak up and say, ha-ha, you guys were just sitting there not paying attention, and we came up behind you. But their number one agenda is to get the House and Senate changed over a little bit so that they can impeach this president that everybody loves.
Yep.
And all of these people went over different party lines to get elected because he was so out of, you know, he's not in Washington, and he can do this, and he's a businessman, and he's our savior, and he'll be a hero. Well, if they want to keep him, they better get some Republicans reelected and elected instead of Democrats.
I sit here and talk to you about this every week, and I talked to so many others during the course of the week, and I am not above criticizing the Republican Party, and I'm going to right now. I consider many of the Republicans that call themselves that, or conservatives, lazy and naive by not going to the polls, because it's not going to happen all by itself. And if you're absolutely happy with the economy and the way things are growing, and you're happy with the way this president is protecting and trying to protect this nation, why aren't you getting out and going to the polls? This stupidity of thinking the Democrats can't mount an assault and take it back, it's stupid and naive.
Well, it is, and people say, well, there's a blue wave coming, and the rest of us kind of go, yeah, maybe so, but, if you really look at everything, that ain't going to happen. And there's a possibility of that. But when you look at the voter turnout in Ohio, when you had in the upper 80s for the Democrats to show up in the lower 30s for Republicans, there's a lot of changes need to be made on the R side.
And Rita, I think that you will agree that we, as a populace, we get many times what we deserve.
Well, that's right. And, and I've mentioned this before. For years and years, we thought, okay, I'll vote for so-and-so. He's going to represent me in Washington, and I'll go about my business, take care of my work, raise my family, be involved in the community, go to my church, and do all those things. Well, we send them back there to become millionaires, and they don't have our best interest at heart, and we need to start watching for it, and we need to start making some changes. And the only way those changes can be made is if we start getting involved and getting others to vote as well.
I agree. We have a caller with a question. Caller, quickly, you're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, Mike. I'd like to make a comment and then ask a question, too. The Republicans wouldn't be in this mess if they would have supported cutting like the EPA funding and so forth. A lot of these Republicans have been rhinos or neocons, and they're never Trumpers and in the Republican Party. And I think the thing, too, John Kasich, of course, probably realized, came out and basically campaigned for the Democratic candidate, and that's the same John Kasich that's come out here and spoke before the Idaho legislature to get a call for a constitutional convention. He's a very anti-Trump, but the thing that I fear the most is the complacency you're talking about and the fact that voter fraud. I mean, when you have many states that don't have an ID form, you just come in, register, or postcard registration and voting. I mean, the chance for fraud, I'd like you to comment about that, the chance for voter fraud. We know it exists, and how we can stop that.
All right, caller.
We can get behind Trump.
All right, caller. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate those. Those are some really good points. I want to go back for a second, though, Rita, and refer to John Kasich. John Kasich reminds me of a very spoiled brat that didn't get his way, and he picked up his football and he went back to Ohio. And now he is like a fungus on a clean lawn that is creating more problems every time he gets the chance. Your thoughts?
Well, he is, and if you kind of look at the things that he said afterwards, he said, oh, well, there's no question that people sent a message to the party. They don't want to have border security anymore. They don't want to have these people being held at the border. They don't want these tariffs, blah, 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 blah. And we're going to take your health care and that kind of thing. He's just pitting the Republicans against the Democrats. And he's supposed to be a Republican. I get it that he's the governor, and so he has to represent all the people. But he's not doing that kind of stuff that's anti-Democrat. He's doing stuff anti-Republican.
Yes.
And
yes.
It's really sad because he is just a a turncoat, really.
Well, in regards to voter fraud, and I got into a discussion about this the other evening, and this person that I was talking to tends to be a little bit liberal and democratic, and I said, wait a minute, you're disparaging me, saying that I believe there is voter fraud, and it's going to be a lot worse in this election, and this person said, oh, there's no such thing as voter fraud, and if there was, there would be so minimal. And I said, well, wake up someday, Rip Van Winkle, and see the real world, because it's going to get worse.
Well, absolutely. When you have instances that they have gone through and looked at who were on their rolls to vote, and those are people that have died years ago, 20, 40, 50, 100 years ago, and they've just given them new names and their addresses and stuff, that's voter fraud. And the other thing is, if you're not a citizen, you don't have the right to vote. And California is trying to make it so that non-citizens can vote in their state and local elections. But if you're not a citizen, you don't have the right to vote. And I think that you could go through the voter rolls in many places and find out that there's lots of people who are not citizens and they vote.
Rita, I don't understand why our Constitution means absolutely nothing today. I do not understand why our laws and regulations mean absolutely nothing today. I do not understand why our senators and congressmen don't stand up in a unified voice, both sides of the aisle, and say this is illegal and no, it can't be done. And when you have the sleaziness of California and now even talks about trying to change things in New York and other areas to let illegals vote in our elections, what in the heck is the matter with this country?
Well, I'll tell you what's the matter with it, is our politicians have got real wise. And you know that old phrase of what you don't know won't hurt you? They think we're just a bunch of dummies, and really, essentially, we are, because we're not calling them out when they don't go by the Constitution. The Constitution is the supreme law of this land. And we should be going by it, and we should know it backwards and forwards. And you know what? I don't know it backwards and forwards, but I do know that there's a lot of stuff about the Constitution that's happening, and it's getting past all of us, and nobody's saying much about it, and because they're not getting called out on the carpet about it,
I agree.
It's kind of like it doesn't matter.
I totally agree with what you're saying, and I get so frustrated on this program because we have stories every day about what's going on with, a good example would be Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I mean, here's a woman that's talking about changing the complexion of America into a socialist nation, and she is now the poster girl for the Democratic Party. They think she's young and vivacious and beautiful, and she's really dumb.
Well, she is, and if I was her mother, I'd take her by the ear and I'd drag her home and I'd say, listen, little girl, you were raised different than this. She was raised in a home where they had money. Her parents are very rich. They didn't have the kind of stuff that she's advocating that the rest of the country should have. And I would just sit her down and say, if you don't stop it, your mother's going to have a press conference and let the world know who you really are, where you came from. What luxuries you lived with, instead of acting like you're this poor little immigrant that didn't have anything and you made your way up and now you're just the one who can be the spokesperson and cause everybody to want to have socialism.
Absolutely. And you know the thing was, she was asked, I just saw this morning at about 4:30. She was asked about how the funding for Medicare would happen and all the free education, etc. And honestly, Rita, she went into an answer that of all the political answers I've ever heard in my life that went around the tree 37 times and never really gave an answer, hers ranks as the best I've ever heard because she never gave anything concrete, and I got tired of listening to her because I couldn't figure out what she was saying.
Well, maybe her mother did get a hold of her then and said, hey, stop it. You had all these kind of things, and if you think that people like us that have made a good living and we've become wealthy over it are going to pay for everybody else, you're full of it, little girl. So she just dances around.
You know, I just can't believe that we're in this kind of shape. I can't believe the Republicans have done such a lousy job of promoting power in Congress and the Senate. They haven't done a doggone thing that I can brag about. But on the other hand, do I want to see the Democrats take back over power with higher taxes and Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and heaven knows who they would ever run for president? It scares me to death.
Well, and it should scare everybody out there enough to make sure that you have conversations with associates and family and that type of thing and encourage them to know what the facts are and vote. You know, we can say, and we do this, and I'm guilty of it as well, is, well, you know, we live in the most conservative state in the nation, of which really we do. And so our representatives are, you know, they're taking good care of us. They're all Republicans, and well, yeah, but then you've got a senator that decides he's going to give away part of Idaho back to the government again, and you've got a congressman who, boy, this is first on his list, and they're not looking at our, you know, at taking care of Idaho. They're interested in what they can stuff into their pockets and how they can be popular someplace else, not in Idaho. And so we need to start looking at that. We need to look at our local representatives, the ones that go to Boise and vote for us. Are they voting conservative as we are in this area? Or are they voting with the people over to Boise and up to Sun Valley? You know, we just have to start taking an interest in what they're doing and then asking them about it. Why do you not vote conservative? When you come from the most conservative county in the whole state of Idaho, why are you not voting conservatively? We need to start asking them, but if we don't know the facts and we don't know anything about it, how can we ask them?
Well, you know, I want to come back after the weather forecast, and Rita, you and I have been around quite some time since our high school years, but when I hear the words socialistic or communistic, and possibly the application of those absolute dreadful and dangerous theories here in the United States, holy cow, I'm scared. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. Don't go away. I want to talk a little bit about our weather forecast, brought to you by Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company, providing accounting services to the Mini-Cassia area for well over 50 years. And as I said, I talked to Leiden Crane the other day, and there's been a lot of changes on the tax rates and also new deductions, and they've altered some of the old deductions. So you need to check this out for you, your family, and your business, and be sure and get a hold of them today. Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. Right now, here's the weather.
Hot and dry conditions are going to persist for the rest of this week on into next week. Here's a look at your weather forecast for us up at the ranch. Widespread haze today due to all of the area wildfires that are continuing to burn. Sunny and hot, expecting a high of 97, possible 100 degrees, just depending upon where you're at in the Magic Valley. Tonight, clear skies, hazy, with a low of 60. Tomorrow, that haze is going to stick around, jumping up to 100 degrees. Tomorrow night, we're expecting mostly clear skies with a low of 61. By Saturday, haze is going to stick around, but hopefully that's going to be clearing out because the winds are picking up by tomorrow afternoon. Not good for the wildfires. A high of 96 with an overnight low of 60. Sunny and 90 for Sunday, and as we go back to work on Monday, sunny skies, high of 90. That's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
And thank you, Gina. Brought to everybody by Phillips, Oaks, Goodwin, Crane, and Company. Accounting services in the Mini-Cassia area for well over 50 years with offices in Burley and Rupert. You get a hold of them today. Rita, I don't know what comes in your mind when you think about socialism/communism, but I see images of tanks pointed at innocent people. I see bald-headed people like Marxist and Lenin and people like this that really scare me because I see people being tortured. I see people starving. I see people really in a world of hurt by a government that has got complete control over them. And our society in the United States is even contemplating, with the likes of Cortez and wild-haired Bernie and Cory Booker, even thinking about changing our system to go socialistic. It scares me.
Well, it does, and this is why we need to learn history, of which hasn't been taught in the schools for many years. A lot of these things I didn't even learn when I was in school. But I will tell you one thing, and that is socialism is the first step towards communism.
Absolutely.
And all you have to do is get them to accept socialism, and then pretty soon communism steps in. And the prime example of that is Venezuela. Venezuela was a beautiful place where they were prospering. They were oil producers. They made lots and lots of money. People would vacation there. It was just a beautiful place to be. And over the last 25 years, they have just gone nothing but downhill because they started with socialism, they went into communism, and now people are literally starving in the streets, and it is horrible. And we're not seeing that. It's not being reported by the left. It is absolutely a travesty that those people are starving to death because their country really has the resources to do good with it and make them, a good capitalistic nation, and yet they've just gone downhill. Cuba was the same way, but we just don't stop and look at the way things were. If you went back and looked at the history of Venezuela probably 50 years ago and then kind of compared it, you'd see a decline. And that's exactly what the left wants to do with America. And if we don't watch out, they will do that.
Well, wait a minute. I got to stop you there. It's already occurring. Look at the filth, the sleaze, and the problems in San Francisco. Look at the chaotic killing, the wanton killing daily in Chicago. Look at a mayor like Bill de Blasio in New York City siding with illegals over citizens. It's happening. Slow but sure, they're going around the monopoly board and they're gaining steam, and we're not doing anything about it.
Well, it is, and if you notice, and there's a few people who will recognize it, but it's kind of like, well, just keep it quiet and don't say anything because it's in such a bad situation, is all of those cities that you mentioned have been under Democratic leadership now for probably 20-plus years, and some of them a lot more than that, and everything just totally declines and doesn't ever pick up and get going the right direction once they start with that. And so until those places start getting some people who are conservatives and going to go back the other way, they will decline, and they do. They look like third world countries, some of those streets and neighborhoods.
I don't know what your feelings are about what's happening here in this United States regarding Christianity. I do know you've talked about it with me. But when I heard that story, and I've only got a couple of minutes left, I heard that story about the pastor down in California that was going to have an evangelical gathering for thanking people and his church for the harvest. They called it the Harvest Days. And they had billboards inviting everybody to be a part of their Harvest Days. And it showed the pastor standing there holding a Bible, and someone was offended because he was holding a Bible, and they complained, and the billboard company is taking down the billboards. What kind of a country are we living in now, Rita?
Well, it all boils down to one thing, and that's personal responsibility of each of us individually. We need to speak up. We need to let the people know who are squelching free speech and this type of thing. That sign company needs to absolutely be ravaged with phone calls of people mad that they would do such a thing, and remind them, you probably wouldn't do the same thing about beer or drugs or pornography or anything if some of those people wanted to advertise. So, why would you do something that's actually good? Just leave it alone. Tell people, hey, you don't have to look at it. Go down the other street.
Well, it means more to me than that. I think the good Lord is looking down on us from heaven, and there are tears in his eyes as to the way this country, a God-blessed country, founded upon Judeo-Christian principles and values, is going down the drain.
Well, it is, and that's where we have personal responsibility to let our neighbors know the good word of God, and how about treating our neighbors right, and just doing the kinds of things that Jesus taught when he was here. There's nothing wrong with that. Anybody who thinks there is, they're just up in the night. Those are the kinds of things that we need to implement into our lives and do around our community.
You know, there's a lot to clean up, but yet we have a lot to be thankful for. But I think going back full circle to what we started on this conversation this morning is people have got to get involved. They've got to get up off the couch. Nobody else is going to do it for them all the time. They've got to go vote. They've got to let their voices be heard. I preach that every day on this show.
Well, and it's too bad because the people who are listening are the choir, and they're the ones who are getting informed and probably letting their voice be heard to their associates. But it's a personal responsibility with all of us, and that's what we have freedom and liberty, and that's a result of others having personal responsibility, and we need to carry that on.
Rita, I always look forward to having you on the air. I want to extend to you and yours a very nice weekend. Stay cool, and we'll see you next Thursday.
Okay, real good. Thanks.
Thank you. Love that lady. She's a good lady. Rita Ramsey, thank you very much. Well, about this time of the day on Thursdays, you know where I'm headed. I am a little hungry, quite frankly. I'm starving to death, and I know some great places to go. How about the AC Drive-In at 601 East Main in Burley? They've got the orange and lemonade freezes. Ooh, they're just what you need on these hot days, and all kinds of shakes, and they've got all the great famous Farmer Brown burgers and the fries and the special sauce. Oh, it's good. It's good at the AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. Well, how about let's try Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. Oh, my, they've got that new pork burrito with beans, pork, rice, sour cream, and cheese. It's good. And, of course, don't forget Taco Bandito has bacon with jalapeno in it. Woo! Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. And then Burgers, etc., 124 South Oneida in Rupert and 700 Overland in Burley. And after 3 p.m., they've got a ham and cheese combo for just $4.99. Small fry and a drink. Wow. And Huckleberry shakes. They've got it all. Great people serving you at 2 locations of Burgers, etc. in Rupert and Burley. And last but not least, Steve-O's. My goodness sakes, yes, Steve-O's. 290 South, 600 West of Hayburn. Food made the way you love it. Absolutely. They've got live music on the weekends from 6 to 9, and they've got those delicious buffalo burgers and really, really great salads and the cheesy broccoli spuds. Oh, it's great. Always is and will be at Steve-O's, 290 South, 600 West of Hayburn. You stop in and see them today. And those are just a few great places to go if you're hungry and starving to death. And I am. Let's see what else have we got cooking here real quick. We're going to come back in a few minutes after the news. And we're going to have Debbie Crisfield on the Cache County School Days. Our business salute is going to be with Jeff over at Lee's Furniture. And then, as I said earlier this morning, at 10:32, we're going to try to reach Ryan Morrow, and he is a terrorist expert, and he's going to be talking to us about this absolute mess in New Mexico. And Ryan, of course, has been on our program many, many times. He's one of the most respected terrorist experts in the United States. The only thing I would caution you folks that are listening out in the audience, he is on his way to a big meeting, a very important meeting, while he's going to be on his cell phone. So bear with us, and we will do the best we can to get him on the air at 10:32 this morning. So that's just a little bit more of what's happening at Zeb at the Ranch. And at this juncture, we're going to say, Wheels, take it away and go to CBS News. We'll be back in about 7 minutes. Good morning, good morning, good morning on a Thursday, August the 9th, Zeb at the Ranch, and thank you for tuning back in. We appreciate it. We're brought to you by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. And don't forget, if you're going on a road trip, they've got all the tires for your safe driving. And don't forget, too, some of our great advertisers like Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. Oh, my goodness sakes. You know, there are so many big things going on right now. It's fair season, as you know, and coming up this weekend on Saturday, if you're not aware of it, the Cassia County Fair and Rodeo, they're going to start things off like they do every year with a great big concert, and this is going to be just a whale of a concert, really a good one, and it's going to occur this coming Saturday night. They're going to have not one but 2 phenomenal acts, one, of course, being Asleep at the Wheel, and the other one, Casey Donahue. And I'm telling you, you better call the fair office and get your tickets. The gates are going to open at 6:30 on Saturday night, and it is going to be a great musical evening, let me tell you. Then, on Sunday this coming weekend, August 12th, they're going to have the Monster Truck Show put on by Live a Little Productions, the Great Big Pit Party at 4:30, and the show at 6 p.m. You don't want to miss this. I mean, we're talking the big dudes coming in there to the Cassia County Fairgrounds. Those are the first couple of events that I want to mention for your 2018 Cassia County Fair and Rodeo. And some of the great businesses that encourage you to be there at the Fair and Rodeo are also Baker Brothers Pump Service at 103 West, 500 South of Burley, the fastest and most reliable pump service company anywhere. From residential pump service to water softener sales, they can do it all at Baker Brothers Pump Service. Along with Burley Veterinary Hospital, yes, at 2869 Overland in Burley, 2 great doctors for all of your animals' needs. Both large and small animals, they can and will help you. Burley Veterinary Hospital in Burley. And, of course, Redder's Showcase at 2611 Overland in Burley. Big, huge Fair Days sale going on all the way through the 18th. 12 months, same as cash. All the freezers are on sale. Washers and dryers and refrigerators. Check it out. Redder's Showcase, 2611 Overland in Burley. Great big Fair Days sale. Right now, we're getting all set to go with our next segment that has been on the air with us a long, long time, and that's Cassia County School Days, and it's brought to you by A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley. They've got all the school clothes over there, and they've got kind of like a sidewalk sale right inside the store. So believe me, for all the games and the puzzles and the toys and the clothing and the baby furniture, it's all there. Please stop in and say hello to some mighty fine folks serving you locally, A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley. With me on the program this morning for Cassia County School Days is a dear friend, the communications officer for the Cassia County School District, Debbie Critchfield. Debbie, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Well, enjoying our waning summer days. We've got registration underway. Yesterday was our first day, and this is the last day for people to get into the schools. But, yeah, we're just barely under 2 weeks from starting school.
All right. Well, Debbie, if I could ask you to hold that cell phone really tight because it's cutting out a little bit, but it's not too bad yet, so we'll do our best. Right now, with registration going on and everything else, what about some of the offerings to the students today? I mean, as far as here they come into school as juniors and seniors, and maybe they're starting to think about career choices, etc. What do you tell these kids?
Well, our primary goal is to connect them with the appropriate options. Not every student is or wants to be college-bound, and that's okay. There are so many opportunities, and I think one of the things that we're trying to do, not just in Cassia, but statewide, is change the conversation from college or career to career. No matter what your career choice is, the path may take you through college, it may not. But ultimately, we're trying to get people on career paths. And so one of the abilities that our high schools have, and every high school in the state has, by way of revenue from the state, is to provide for a college and career advisor. And this person, their role is to directly connect, as you said, with juniors and seniors and their parents to have the conversations to say what comes next. If this is something that you're interested in, this is how you get there. Or if you're not sure what you're interested in, let's help you explore some options so that you feel that you can be, and parents feel like their children can be successful beyond high school.
You know, I love the concept of what we're talking about, and I can relate back into the old days. I think that the career advisors, or the guidance counselors, if you will, that's what they used to be called, are far, far better in their job and more knowledgeable today than they were 30, 40 years ago.
Well, particularly in industry and business. So I think in the past, guidance counselors, and this is, maybe like a glorified guidance counselor, but the difference here is we also try to get those people very knowledgeable on local industry and business, that it's not just about strictly academic pathways. So typically counselors and guidance counselors, they come up through academia and they know a lot about navigating college and how to pursue some of those degrees through that path. Well, we know that in Idaho and nationally that we have shortages with our labor force in particular fields, particularly in engineering, science, math, and some of these things. And so we want to connect the college and career advisors. Their role is to become experts in their community on jobs that need to be filled, and then how do I get to a point where I am then qualified to be employed in some of these fields.
Debbie, I don't know how to phrase this question. I might offend somebody, but they know me. I'm going to have to go ahead and offend some that don't like this. But I think, this is my own feeling on this subject, that high schools, all high schools, need to develop a course or something within a course that creates and stimulates a high school rah-rah, go-get-'em spirit to make these kids understand that they've been given talent. Everybody has different talents, and they need to apply those talents to really be somebody during their short life here on Earth. Go out and apply your talents. How do we go about reinstilling that?
I think that there are some classes that try to do that. I don't know that it's overtly said like that, and maybe that's the improvement to be made, is that, the conversations are a little more plain. But we try to, especially in our district, have some, it's termed different things, but, for lack of a better way of saying it, adult living classes where we try to connect a little bit of reality, not a little bit, but connect reality with our juniors and seniors to say, you've got the potential. Your decisions, this is a very critical time of life. Making sure that you have the information that you need to make these decisions is important. Some of these classes, well, not some, in some form incorporate budgeting, how to apply for a loan, some of these type of life skills that I think have been lacking over the years.
Well, I think they're lacking over the years, but the proof is in the pudding. Drive around. Look at the reader boards of businesses. Help wanted. Please apply within. All this type of thing is going on. We have jobs. We have opportunities. All we need is good workers that want to apply themselves. And I think we've got a reverse problem today. More jobs than we have people.
Oh, it's a real problem. And what you're talking about is what we call, in the classrooms with our students, we call them soft skills. Being able to communicate with someone, showing up on time, coming more than, you've got to come more than 3 or 4 days on time. If you talk to local businesses, and we hear this a lot, they say, we want to hire people who will come to work on time
and that after a week, don't get bored and can pass the drug test.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of frightening when you hear it in those very clear-cut terms. But these are things that we're working on with our career exploration classes and with our other people. And it's not just about students, but helping to communicate to parents that these are important conversations that you need to be having at home.
Where did we go wrong? I don't mean to put you in the spotlight and embarrass you with this question, but where did we go wrong in this country from earlier generations that really wanted to apply themselves and use the talent they had to go out and be somebody at their chosen career? Why did we get in this position, and how did we get in this position?
I don't know if there's one thing. I think just for myself as I, examine changes in society and, you add the ease of technology and how some things are just easier to do. So I don't know if we've sort of taken away the grit of kids to persevere and to work at things. And so if things don't come easily, then the natural sense is to give up on it. Family situations have changed. People are busy. It takes more time to provide for families with jobs and so forth. And some of these other conversations, I think that took place maybe aren't happening like they used to. That's always a good reminder to do a little review and examination and say, okay, we're starting a new school year. What are some goals that we can set as a family or with our students to make sure that we're covering some of these important topics?
Well, I think that the work ethic, and I mean this, the work ethic has to be applied at home when there are small children. Johnny, take out the trash. Johnny, go mow the lawn. Johnny, go do this. Susie, the same thing. I think if you don't start applying a more comprehensive work ethic, they're going to grow up thinking everything's just going to be handed to them.
I won't disagree with that, and I think we're fortunate in our area and in our state that we kind of still have that backbone. As we look around at other states, maybe it's not quite there as much, and perhaps it's because we're in an ag-dominated community that there's some good benefits there. But teachers and schools, and I feel like I'm preaching to the choir, if not to the converted, but teachers can't do all of that in the day, in addition to math skills and, some of those things. It really is a partnership between families and teachers.
One thing that I'm very happy about, and you and I have discussed it, and Galen Smyer and I discussed it on the radio on this program many times, is I'm glad, and I mean this, that we're getting away from a one-size-fits-all, everybody should go to college mentality. Thanks to people in the media like Mike Rowe and others saying, wait a minute, there's a lot of great career choices that aren't going to mean that you have to spend $175,000 going to college if you want to be a plumber, an engineer, if you want to be an electrician, whatever. We are begging for you to go to school to study this, and I think that is what's needed more so today than ever.
Absolutely, that individualization. I'm going to condense a quick story that I think illustrates what you're talking about. So, and the gentleman shared this with our school board a couple of months ago, but he had gone to Salt Lake and visited with a doctor on some medical procedures, and the doctor had complained that they had some plumbing issues at their home, and trying to find a qualified plumber that could get to their home in a timely way was a real challenge. Well, when the plumber finally got there and presented the bill, the doctor said he was quite shocked at what the bill was, and says, this is a lot of money. And the doctor said, I only charge $200 an hour or whatever. And the plumber said, yeah, that's what I used to charge when I was a doctor.
Boy, there's a lot of truth in that story, too. But I think...
Yeah, and so, we laugh, and it's funny. It is funny. But the truth is, of course we need doctors, but we also need plumbers and electricians.
Yes.
And these are critical positions in our community, and we're not filling some of these things, and it's hard to meet some of these other needs. And so, like I say, that kind of illustrates the fact that we're not just preaching about college. We're talking about career pathways.
Yes.
How do you get to where you want to be, regardless of what that is? If it takes you through college, great. If it's a 2-year certificate, perfect. If you can do something online, let's help you get that accomplished.
And the key to success, I think, is opening up the doors of opportunity and the students' minds as to what they like to do, what they want to do, and what they feel they can be confident in doing for a lifestyle. And you got to combine all three of those. It's not just go to college because my dad did, my granddad did. Maybe they want to go to a horseshoeing school. If they like that, let them do it.
You're hired. Yes.
Amen.
That's right. Those are the exact type of conversations that we started to have this last year, and will continue to have and really expand upon. And hopefully we can, for parents, we'd encourage you, if you're not sure if your child is connecting with these advisors, ask, go to the school, have those conversations yourself so that you're aware of the opportunities. They're here locally. We don't have to ship our children out of state to get good paying jobs. They're here. Let's help you get trained and get you the information you need.
And that's one thing I want to wrap up the program by saying. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I am absolutely sick to my stomach of the anti-education ads for the state of Idaho, the negatives about how the kids aren't going anywhere. We have got some absolutely sharp kids, sharp teachers, and a lot of great opportunity right here in the state of Idaho.
Agreed.
That was simple. Thank you. Debbie Critchfield, and she is the communications officer for Cassia County School District. Thank you, Debbie. God bless, and I know you're looking forward to a great school year.
Absolutely. Thanks for helping us get the information out there.
Thank you very, very much. Love that lady. She does a great job. Very conscientious, Debbie Critchfield. And, of course, School Days in Cassia County brought to you by A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley. You stop in, and don't forget they've got all the school clothes ready for you for back to school at A Child's World. Right now, we're going to have our business salute, and I'm going to check over with Wheels at the main studio. Do we have Jeff available, Wheels?
Yes, sir, we do.
Thank you, sir. Right now, the head man, and the last time I saw him, he was sitting at a desk and figuring out a whole bunch of things on his iPad and everything else. Jeff at Lee's Furniture, Floors and More at 459 Overland in Burley. How are you, sir?
Well, I'm good, doing well, Zeb. Usually I'm figuring out how to look busy or how to get out of work.
You did a great job.
And how are you today?
I am great. I tell you, I love my new recliner. I finally got the buttons all figured out. Instead of going forward, I'm now going where I want to go, and I love that chair. Thank you, thank you.
You're welcome. And, you picked out a nice chair. It's a good-looking chair, but that chair is going to last you a long time, and you'll be really comfortable in it. Thank you.
Well, I am, but that is just one of the chairs. One of the chairs of many, many, many that you have there for a great selection of recliners at Lee's Furniture, Floors and More.
Yeah, thanks for mentioning that, Zeb. We do have a huge selection of recliners here, but, we also have reclining sofas, reclining love seats. So, football season's rolling around the corner, so it's a great time to come in and buy a football couch, as one could say. In addition to that, of course, we've got a number of other items on sale right now. As you may be aware, we have a great special going, and this is kind of tied in with Harvest. We do this each year. But we have all of our mattresses right now, closeout mattresses, new introductions, and so forth, half price.
Wow.
And these are Simmons Beauty Rest mattresses. These are fantastic quality.
Wow, all the great mattresses for a great night's sleep, and everything there in the store. I mean, I walked in there the other day, and I was totally impressed with all the different floor plans of maybe living room furniture and maybe something for the kitchen and the bedroom. Wow, it is beautiful inside the store.
Well, thank you. We actually recently redid and expanded our floor covering department. So for anybody that's looking for floor covering, we carry a huge selection of carpet in stock. Also, we carry in stock luxury vinyl plank, the hard surface flooring that's waterproof. We have so many styles and colors available. It's all on sale. We carry vinyl. We carry laminate floors. We carry tile. We carry wood. So we have everything that anybody could need to go with that furniture, Zeb.
Absolutely. And the thing is, you've got the people. I am very impressed with the people that work there, the knowledge and everything. And tell us a little bit about the folks they can talk to for the beautification and the comfort of their home.
Well, we, of course, have LeGrand, who is expert in floor covering. He can answer any question, does bid work, and Morgan as well. Morgan is fantastic. He knows his information. We, of course, have Hillary and Emily, who are our designers. They arrange the floor. They do private consultation. They help with special orders. Of course, we have window coverings. They help with all of that, as well as floor coverings. Darren, he's fantastic with furniture, and myself, of course, I help in all of these different areas, and we have great delivery guys. So anyway, we've got a great team, and I thank you for noticing.
You know, and Jeff, I would imagine, I don't mean to step ahead, but I would imagine this time of the year you're encouraging people that the weather is going to change before too long, and they're going to be spending more time indoors. Now's the time to check out that great carpet, all the different kinds that you have at Lee's Furniture.
You know, that's... You recognize that, and that is excellent, because many people want to have the floor covering done before the holidays. And typically, if it's not on the schedule by about the 1st of November, it's really quite difficult to get installed for the holidays. So we always recommend to customers to come in during August. We do free estimates and bid work on floor covering. Perhaps once the bid work is done in August, we can get it installed in September, October. It's a great time to have it done while the weather is nice and cooperative. So, yeah, that is true. It really is. It really makes it nice, so you don't have to worry about that for the holidays.
Jeff, tell everybody where you're located and what your hours are.
We are located at 459 Overland Avenue in Burley. We are open 9 till 6 p.m. on Monday through Friday, and Saturdays we are here until 5 p.m.
I suppose I'm going to see you at some football games this fall.
Yeah, I hope so, and I hope the playoffs as well.
Oh, I do too, my friend. Thank you very much. I know you've got a son playing, and I've got a grandson. They play on the same team. We wish them well.
We'll look for you at the games.
Jeff over at Lee's Furniture, Floors and More. Super nice people. They've got everything you need for the beautification and the comfort of your home. Lee's Furniture, Floors and More, 459 Overland and Burley. Jeff, God bless. Thank you.
Thank you, Zeb, and you take care. Bye-bye.
Take care. Really nice people, and I love that chair. I mean, man, oh man, it was time that I got a new chair, and I went in and I picked out this beautiful, nice recliner. I'm looking forward to football season now. You can bet on that. In just a moment, we're going to send it back over to our main studios, but I want to remind you that we are going to try, right after the break at the bottom of the hour, to have terror expert and analysis Ryan Morrow on our program. He's been on the program many times in the past, and we're going to try to get him on this morning. I say try because he's en route to a very important meeting and on a cell phone. So, you know, back east when they're going through the tunnels and all that other stuff, oops, we might lose him, so we're going to do the best we can. But right now, we're going to send it back over to Wheels. We'll be back in about 3 minutes.
And now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
There are a lot of guests I have on this program, and I really value their knowledge and integrity on the subjects that we talk about. And when I talk about terror and what's going on around the world, and especially right here in this United States, I think of a young man that has been on this program numerous times in the past, and unfortunately, my fault, I haven't had him on as much as I should have recently. He is the best at what he does, and I have a lot of respect for him. Good morning, Ryan Morrow. How are you?
Hey, it's great to be talking with you again, and I just remembered how when I was on your show regularly, you would always ask me the one question that I would ask you not to ask, which was, on a 1 to 10 scale, can you make some rating of the president's performance? So I'm hoping that you would remember that joke we had back and forth.
Absolutely. Ryan, it's a pleasure to have you on this program. And what I'd like to do, because it has been a while, give us a thumbnail sketch about you, your company, your business, and what you do so my audience can be reinformed.
Sure. So I've been studying counterterrorism, geopolitics, radical Islam since as I was turning a teenager. So it's a bit of an obsession of mine, and I started my career when I was 16. And now what I do is I am the director of a group called the Clarion Intelligence Network, which specializes in filling the intelligence gaps for law enforcement, providing training. And then that is a section itself of Clarion Project, which is the umbrella nonprofit that educates about Islamic extremism overall.
Ryan, do you feel today in 2018 that we are safer and more knowledgeable about terrorists and terror provided by ISIS, other groups? Or are we naive enough in thinking that it can't happen again, that we're going to be protected, nothing bad is going to happen? Where are we in this country right now?
There are competing trends. So overall, the data shows that there has been a reduction in global terrorist attacks and fatalities. But when I look at the broader trends, because there can be a micro trend within a macro trend, it's still very bad because you can weaken ISIS, but Al-Qaeda is growing because they have an army in Syria, they have forces in Yemen that are really very powerful, certainly have an infrastructure in Pakistan still, and you have so many millions of people that believe in either attacking the United States or one of the associated radical Islamic beliefs like killing gay people or something like that. So there's a big pool to recruit from. And so these trends rapidly change just based on a triggering moment. You can think that you're decreasing the threat, and then all it takes is just something to happen overseas, like we saw with ISIS, and then you're dealing with a dramatic spike, and you're saying, where did this come from?
Ryan, with all of your study in regards to intelligence about what's happening with terror around the globe, and a lot of us think, well, it's happening over there. It might be happening in the Middle East. It might be happening in Germany or the UK, etc. But no, we just got a real eye-opener in the last couple of days about a terror camp in New Mexico with children. Tell us about what you know with the dastardly deed that was going on down there.
Right, so the story there is that there are multiple family members that belong to Imam Siraj Wahhaj's family. Imam Siraj Wahhaj being one of the most powerful Muslim leaders in the United States. He's like a rock star, but he's radical. He hasn't been arrested on terrorism charges, but he certainly has advocated and allied with terrorists in the past. And so he has kids that got wrapped up in this rift in Georgia, and Imam Wahhaj's grandson is a 3-year-old disabled toddler who's very likely to have left this earth now. And his father abducted him, said he's possessed by Satan, we shouldn't be taking modern medicine, which is real cultish type beliefs. And he said we need to have an Islamic exorcism. So he abducts his child, and a notice goes out. The imam says, I want to find my kids, and I think that's genuine. And the police start looking for him, and eventually they come across this compound on the New Mexico-Colorado border where they are basically preparing for war. The boy is there, and along with 11 other children who are found starving. You can see their ribs. Massive preparations for a shootout, stockpiling of guns, a 150-foot underground tunnel. Really unbelievable. And so 5 people are arrested when the local police finally go in instead of waiting on the FBI after months and months, because this is a story that began in December of last year. And now the new news that just came out yesterday is that we know that the 2 men who were arrested for running that compound and brainwashing these 11 children were teaching them how to carry out school shootings.
Oh, my. Oh, this is just deplorable. What about the FBI? I know that you probably have parameters as to what you can say and can't say, but what about the FBI and their vigilance over this issue and knowledge that it was going on for quite some time, and these kids were suffering daily? Why wasn't something done earlier?
If you ever have that moment where you need to explain to someone why you don't trust the federal government's competence and decision-making, print out this story, and I have an article at Clarion Project where I just list all the screw-ups on this, and you'll be able to prove your point. I mean, there's just no greater example here. So the neighbors say they saw that missing boy, and a corpse has been found that's probably of that poor little boy. But they said that some neighbors saw that boy there in January and February. They tell the police once they realize that their neighbor is a fugitive with a missing boy and an Islamic extremist who's stockpiling guns and basically preparing for war. They also tell the FBI that this compound is partially built on their private property, and they are giving permission to the FBI to search their private property. You'll need a search warrant in that case. The FBI says, no, even though these guys are illegally squatting and preparing for war in the middle of the desert, and we believe a fugitive is there and the fugitive has this boy, that is not probable cause because we have not identified the boy being there with our own eyes or gotten documentation of it like a picture. So we're going to just surveil the place for months and months. And that's what the FBI did. The compound, one of the purposes was to hide that boy. You're not going to get a positive identification on him. That's just crazy. And so while this group in this camp, the kids are starving almost to death, and while they're stockpiling weapons, preparing for an Islamic version of Waco, the FBI is just sitting and saying, nope, we need more, until the local police said, that's it, we've had enough, and they really risked their lives to go in and enter that compound, and were just horrified by the conditions that they saw. And it is truly a miracle, and I choose that word on purpose, that none of the law enforcement that went into that compound were killed or even injured. It doesn't make sense to me. I can only ascribe it to God, because I can't explain it.
Well, I saw the camp on videos and where it was placed, and from a tactical standpoint, it was right out in the open where it was almost impossible for someone to just blatantly go in there without being seen. But I want to go back, and I'm just sitting here mad. I mean, I've got my fists clenched, and I'm mad because I hope, in some respects, this is a black mark against our FBI and a wake-up call. It sounds to me like that agency, with all the other bad press they've had from James Comey, etc., they need a complete sweep out of the personnel and a remake. Am I wrong?
I agree with your recommendation of appointing me to be the director of FBI. I'm just making that assumption on your part.
Yes.
Yes, I definitely agree, because each field office is different. There are different types of personnel. I have a lot of friends with the FBI, within the FBI that I work with on a daily basis, that I know would not have handled it this way. Oh, and by the way, to make matters even worse, because it was local police going in, which is just a riskier endeavor, they had little resources for the search. And so they didn't search everything. And the neighbors go in on Sunday. The raid happens on a Friday. And you're not going to believe this. The neighbors found guns, bullets, a tactical vest, video cameras, and a laptop that the police did not confiscate.
Oh, my.
And it was there for 2 days. The exact type of stuff that a terrorist would send a friend to go retrieve back if they knew it was left behind. So this is just remarkable. And the fact that the FBI has not issued a press release to explain what went wrong here tells me that they don't have an answer. They're not even trying to defend themselves. And the local police, in a very rare move, when they put out their press release, basically shame the FBI. I've never seen it happen that I can think of where that's happened to that degree. And they did it politely, but it doesn't happen at all. Even when it happens, it doesn't come out to the public.
Ryan, let me ask you this question with your expertise and knowledge. Now, it is a known fact that regardless of the situation, the county sheriff in any respective county in the United States has jurisdictional power over anybody. Why did the county sheriff and his efforts wait and see what the FBI was going to do? Why didn't they go in earlier?
Well, they had trust in the FBI, and it's better to have FBI resources, especially when they don't share information.
Yeah.
That's something else that drives me crazy. So the local police know they don't have all the information at their disposal. So to some degree, they're going in there blind. And you want the FBI involved to maximize your chances of success in your own survival. And I think a lot of police just there is that trust in the FBI. You wouldn't think that they'd be screwing up to this degree. So it takes a while to really fathom that. So I get it. And then they were finally triggered because a text message was received coming out of that compound to someone in Georgia. Whoever received that message gave that to the police in Georgia. The police in Georgia then gave it to the local police in New Mexico, and it read, "We need food and water. The children are starving." And that's when the local police said, "That's it. We're not waiting any longer. If the FBI keeps saying they don't have probable cause, we're not going to have these children starve to death on our watch."
Yeah.
And those police going in to rescue those kids knew that there was a good chance that the very kids they were trying to rescue would kill them. I mean, what greater act of love can you ask for?
Absolutely.
It's just amazing.
Ryan, what about the children today? I mean, what's their status? I understand there was approximately 11 kids there. Where are they? Are they being taken care of? And what about their mental capabilities as far as the brainwashing that was being indoctrinated to them?
Well, I know several people who grew up in these type of militant Islamic compounds. And they are doing okay now, but they will tell you that you don't get over it, ever. So these kids are going to be permanently scarred from this. And we hope that we can unbrainwash them. We might not be able to. I know of cases where they haven't been able to. But the kids are up to 15 years old, and they are in the custody of foster parents now. The mothers were arrested, and they're refusing to cooperate with the police. Some of the people associated with the imam who in Brooklyn, who we don't think was involved in this compound directly, but he still raised these family members and taught them how to do this stuff. He has some responsibility, even if he wasn't involved in the specific operation and disagreed with it. His organization is making it sound like the women there were held against their will. It's a lie. I looked at the court documents. The women, when safe and separated, that they were there voluntarily.
Ryan, I guess my next question would have to be to you that I feel the American public is naive. If the American public thinks this is a one-time Charlie, in other words, just one camp, one instance, I think they're wrong, because I know personally of some of these terror training camps that are had and being held in Oregon, some in New York, some in Texas. How serious is the threat to you, an expert, about jihad occurring in this country and all these camps?
It's extremely high because you have infrastructures. These aren't just people radicalized on the internet. There's a lot of people like that. But the smarter group that are raising millions of dollars every single year, they don't want to carry out an attack right now because it doesn't make sense. They want to keep bringing that money, bring in new recruits. But that ends one day. And so that's where my analysis shifts. 99% of analysts and almost 100% of the American people judge the threat as it is today rather than the potential and likely increase in the future. For me, I look at Muslim Brotherhood, Fuqra, Hamas, all these groups that all believe in apocalyptic end times prophecies, that believe in jihad one day on American soil, and they just choose, for pragmatic reasons, not to act. That doesn't comfort me. So I don't go by the metrics of, how many arrests or plots actually occurred on American soil in a given year. That's the wrong answer, because that is based on the people that believe in attacking anywhere, everywhere, at any moment, and they are only a small sample of the overall jihadi threat that we face.
Ryan, overall, and I'm not going to revert to that question that we started the show with, but I am going to ask you this. With the people that you're working with and the people that you try to talk to about terror and analyzing the various threats, are you more comfortable with this administration than perhaps the last administration?
Yes, but the reason you're hearing hesitation in my voice is because I do have a lot of disappointments. And I have to admit that as a system, the government is much more chaotic under Trump. It just is. You can blame his political opposition. You can blame him. I blame everybody. I think there's many factors. So that that's disturbing to me. I do not see in multiple areas decisive change happening from the Trump administration. It's more than just appointing the people around him. That does encourage me. And there are improvements on foreign policy in certain levels. But do I feel like we're having an overhaul of our national security apparatus, a systematic review to identify the gaps and how to fix this? I'm just not seeing it at this point.
Yeah. Ryan, final thought here this morning, and then I'll have to let you go. But what would you tell my audience? You know, we're told that if you see something, say something, but yet at the same time, sometimes when people do say something and get involved, they're demeaned and they're kind of looked down upon. What would you tell my audience? Because it can happen anywhere.
Yeah, those neighbors did not expect that they would be trying to evict terrorists from their property. And this is one of those outrageous examples where the only reason you know about it is because it was so over the top. What about the cases that are not so over the top? So yes, you have to be aware of what's going on in your community, not just with the Islamic threat, but just in general. You have to think of yourself as an information gatherer and someone who can act as a civilian upon that information in various ways. And so what I would say is, watch over your community, be a watchman on the wall. Don't think about just one type of threat. Just research your community, get to know people, and consider it your job as a human being to protect it. And I've got just so many stories about how someone who doesn't even study these types of issues has protected their community just by having that psychology in mind. And if you go to the media for something, if you go to the police, if you go to the FBI, whoever, don't get discouraged by lack of action or by them not cooperating. Just write those people off and find the next one. Don't say I went to the media, they didn't help, and then that's it. No, there will be a reporter that will help you. And feel free to reach out to me at Clarion Project, because this is my job for the nonprofit, is to help you and to act on this information and to never share your identity if you don't want it to be shared.
This man is the best, and I absolutely thank him from the bottom of my heart for taking the time to come on the program this morning. Ryan Morrow with the Clarion Project. God bless you, my friend, and know that I'm going to be calling you more frequently.
I look forward to it. God bless you, and thank you so much. I was so happy when you called me this morning.
All right, sir. Thank you. Take care of yourself. I have the utmost respect for him, and it was really kind of interesting. I saw him on television. And he was doing an interview on this subject. And I called him up on his phone, and I said, Ryan, I apologize. I haven't had you on the program for quite some time. Would you consider coming on this morning? And he said, absolutely. And so I really appreciate him. Ryan Morrow with the Clarion Project. Thank you. Weather forecast coming up, and it's brought to you by Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome, and the number 324-7657. Or you can go to their website, scarrowsmeats.com. Oh, delicious meats. Still barbecue season. You got all the friends and neighbors coming over this weekend. We'll check out the marinated pork ribs. They're delicious for just $1.99 per pound. Or any one of the great barbecue packages at Scarrows Meats. Good. You're going to love it. Right now, here's Gina with the weather.
Hot and dry conditions are going to persist for the rest of this week on into next week. Here's a look at your weather forecast for us up at the ranch. Widespread haze today due to all of the area wildfires that are continuing to burn. Sunny and hot, expecting a high of 97, possible 100 degrees. Just depending upon where you're at in the Magic Valley. Tonight, clear skies, hazy, with a low of 60. Tomorrow, that haze is going to stick around, jumping up to 100 degrees. Tomorrow night, we're expecting mostly clear skies with a low of 61. By Saturday, haze is going to stick around, but hopefully that's going to be clearing out because the winds are picking up by tomorrow afternoon. Not good for the wildfires. A high of 96 with an overnight low of 60. Sunny and 90 for Sunday, and as we go back to work on Monday, sunny skies, high of 90. That's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
Thank you, Gina. Brought to everybody by Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. Telephone number 324-7657. They are changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time. Scarrows Meats. Wow, we're almost out of time for this week, and I want to urge you to have a great weekend, but stay cool. Stay cool. Be careful. Those temperatures are going to be really warm. If you're getting ready to take a road trip before the kids go back to school, I really recommend that you get into your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and make sure that everything is ship-shape for you to take off and drive from point A to point B and then back home again. They've got the best of tires. All the different tread designs, all the sizes for your car, pickup, SUV, camp trailer, boat trailer, horse trailer, everything. So make sure you get in there and check it out today. Along with the best in brake service, front end alignment, shocks and struts, batteries, all of this and so much more, along with the best of service. They really care. And they really will take care of you. Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers with Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, Daniel on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. You know, I want to say this before I go this morning, that the good Lord has blessed me with this program, with you as listeners, and with the best guests. I feel very comfortable in calling anybody and everybody anywhere around the United States, or for that matter the world, to come on my program and have friendships with these people. They are devoted to being servants on the various topics to give you the best of information. Thank you for listening. God bless each and every one of you. We're going to wrap it up where we always say the way things were are the way things ought to be, and we've added a new line, the world needs more cowboys. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday at 8:06.